Well, hello, friends. Josevich here. Welcome back to some Hearthstone. And this time we've seemed to have run into a little bit of a huge problem where our priest friend here has buffed up their Northshire nice and early. And they're going to be able to do a whole bunch of drawing off of us. Now, that's not necessarily going to be the end of the game. Oh, boy. This is now a problem. The Silence Priests are definitely a bit of an issue for us. We're going to go ahead and War Leader and attack in. So obviously the worst result here now would be a Circle of Healing. Otherwise, this Northshire is going down after one more heal. Which would mean one more draw, one more step closer to a big Ancient of War. And then the other scary thing is the fact that these Aldors, as much as they are great for these big minions that get buffed up, they're definitely not the end of the world because our opponent runs a whole bunch of silences. Which is not great for us, that's for sure. That's okay, this returns to being a 1-3. Oh boy. And now we are all sorts of scared right now. So we are now going to be forced to Aldor out the 4-5. Or 4, well, the 4-4, but it was a 4-5. The issue is now, of course, there's going to be lots and lots of healing. Another minion that terrifies us. And getting silenced right off the bat. And our opponent's not looking for any extra draw. So if we are able to get a Consecration or a True Silver, we would have been in great shape there. Unfortunately, no luck for us. We're going to have to discover something pretty good right now. Tyrion's excellent. And I'm just going to throw out the strongest minion that we have right now. This 1-4 is obviously not doing too much work for us right now. And basically the whole game plan is to get rid of our opponent's draw mechanic. Just so that they're not able to pull off their crazy Inner Fire Divine Spirit combos. This is obviously the better minion for our opponent to be healing. But the great thing is they're not going to be able to comfortably... Oh boy. Okay. As long as we have anything... Oh... Interesting. Not going for the draw. Going for the discover here. I feel like we may be able to tempo them out. Next turn, I definitely want to play Spike Ridge on someone or something. One of our minions, I should say. That's going to be the last draw for our opponent. This is fine. This is negligible. I'm leaving that alone. This is going to be pretty good for us right now. So we're going to go Spike Ridge here. We're attacking the 1-3 this way. Then we're getting rid of the 1-4 just so it's no longer an issue. Then we're going into a really strong 7, which will refill our hands with the Curator. Obviously, we have a whole bunch of... Oh, that's actually a pretty good... That's a pretty good move for our opponent. There's no doubt about it. We're going to have a really strong Curator turn into a strong Tyrion. The Murloc combos, sure, there's options. But right now, I feel like we just need to keep pressure up with our opponent. And because the way we have our deck set up, we did actually add one Primordial Drake from a couple of the initial videos that I posted for Midrange Murloc Paladin. Didn't have these Drakes. But I feel like they're simply too powerful. Wow. Just wants the face damage in, though. Doesn't even care about anything. So if we top deck a Consecration, it's definitely a quality Consecration time. Oh, that's too bad. I definitely would have gone with that. Spike Ridge Steed does pump us up to 6. And then we could also get a Hydrologist. The Primordial Drake's a little bit slow right now, although we could use it on turn 10 as our board clear, which would be okay. That's been quite a few silences. The only issue with playing Tyrion is that I can't kill anything else off, which I really kind of want to do. So let's go ahead and discover with Hydrologist first, just because, you know, ordering and stuff matters. Getaway Kodo, Redemption... Ooh, or Eye for an Eye. Are we going to be trying to protect from a crazy OTK? I think we're too far away. Oh, let's make sure we do this properly, please. And we're going to get rid of this one. Simply because it has the higher potential health. The Humongous Razor Leaf. Now, obviously, our opponent could just fish for a Shadow or Death and try and pump through that way. But I think it's reasonable to try and set us up. Now, and the other scary thing is our opponent hasn't done any sort of real Inner Fire shenanigans. If our opponent buffs here, we're in really bad shape. Oh, and right now we're definitely kind of super sad because if we had our Consecration, I don't want to say it'd be game over, but it'd be pretty close to game over. So we're going to go ahead and Aldor one of these. We're going to punch the other. Then, we could do a little... Now we'll do a little bit of Murloc action, I think. Let's see what we can do here. Poisonous. We could do Poisonous and kind of clear off the board, which would be nice. So we'll just get rid of this 4-5, or should we get rid of the draw? Let's get rid of the 4-5. Just so that there's a lot less power on board for our opponent. Now, obviously, there can be Purifies and Silences to remove this Aldor mechanic, or this Aldor debuff, I guess we can refer to it as. Ooh, Stand Down. That is a cool... I didn't know that was the name of the buff from Aldor. And there we go, doubling the minion's health. Obviously big. Oh boy. Changing it to be equal. Setting up a little bit of either a 2-turn or a really big play here. And we still have that second taunt, which is nice. And because we have this Poisonous, we're going to be able to trade in here. Although that Divine Shield was created by Shadow Vision, so there's still going to be 2 more in our opponent's deck. That was a bonus Divine Shield. But the great thing is now we're going to be able to really trade in efficiently, then throw down Tyrion, hopefully stabilizing. That's okay. Let's see, was that a real one? That was a real Inner Fire. Doesn't really matter because we have a Poisonous minion on board. Oh, we could go Rag, but let's just do this and really seal the game. And I want to get that secret out, the Getaway Kodo, in the event that Tyrion does die. We'll just play a second one, and not many decks can handle 2 Tyrions, which is why the N'Zoth Paladin, or N'Zoth Paladin, depending how you want to pronounce it, is so powerful, because when you have Tyrions coming back, there's not really much that you can really be doing against that sort of... You can't really plan for that. So, looks like our opponent's basically calling it a game here, unless something crazy happens, which can happen. So I'm not going to be playing my Rag here. Redemption, when a minion dies, return into life with 1 health. Now we have potential for 3 Tyrions, although I can't imagine this happening because it looks like we're just basically playing out the game. There's not much that can really be happening. Opponent's taking a look at what the heck this Gentle Megasaur is. It's okay, I don't recognize him from WoW either. Hey, Purify. I wonder what the ordering is. Oh, it does nullify. It does nullify. That's well played then. That is a well played on the Silence Priest. Silence Priest has gotten very popular. A couple people are really climbing with it well. It's been shown that it can be climbing you to Legend from rank 5. So that's kind of cool to see some nice variety on the ladder. Okay, so we are finding ourselves up against a nice little bit of another, what I'm expecting to be Hybrid Hunter here. And we have an okay looking start. If our opponent plays a Pirate, obviously we all of a sudden turn into being in great shape. That is not a good result for us at all. But I think it's still something that is very recoverable, that's for sure. Very interesting on the... Oh, that's very bad for us. Just going to trade horribly. But we do have some options. Oh, and that is one of our reasonable results here. We now have enough power on board to deal with the 3-3. And this buff just puts a lot of power on board. On turn 2 to have, what is this now, 4-6 worth of power. Quite strong, there's no doubt about it. Obviously, this minion keeps getting buffed up. That's going to be a problem. Wind Fury would be the worst. And Divine Shield's pretty bad as well. There's no doubt about that. So we need to be taking some of these minions out. And luckily, we do have our Aldor. Oh, and we got a Murloc War Leader as well. I think Aldor's probably a little bit better. Or is this way? Or is this way going to be a little bit better? Either way, we're going to be losing our board to what our opponent has on board. But I feel like this might have a little bit more power because it forces a double trade. I think this makes sense to do it this way. Maybe, maybe not. Obviously, our opponent can still be buffing their minions. They're all beasts here. Lots and lots of options. But if they do, then we're able to Aldor coin out hero power. And if not, we'll probably Stonehill coin out hero power regardless. So if our opponent misses their turn, we can afford to go a little bit slower as well. If they do hit something good on their turn, then we're going to Aldor to try and catch up a little bit on board. And then we'll coin out the hero power basically simply to have our own bit of extra board presence. Because like we learned last time, we definitely need to be having a little bit more strength on board. So this is really unfortunate. This is one of the things we definitely were worried about, this sort of trade happening. Rag does definitely help us quite a bit. We're not expecting any pirates at this point, so I don't mind throwing out the crawler at this point. Let's have a little bit more power on board. Force some trades, force some moves here. Obviously, the Aldor is a little bit weaker, knowing that there might be... Oh, that's really, really strong for 5 mana. This card is just a little ridiculous, but that's okay. Oh, opponent's going fully face. That's a really interesting choice. Let's see what type of taunts we can't find here. What's going to be better? I think 4 or 5 Divine Shield is going to be better. How do we want to do this? Do we care which one goes down health? The issue here is, of course, that our opponent has a lot of control over what's happening with this board. If they throw down a Savannah Highmane, I don't know that we're going to be able to crawl back into this game, to be honest with you, because we don't have an answer. We already had to use our Aldor, and I feel like we had to use our Aldor, otherwise we would have gotten run over at that point. It's really interesting how I've really struggled with this matchup. I don't really know what to be doing too differently. I feel like our early game actually matches up reasonably well. Please not Wind Fury and clear the board. Oh boy. Oh, Wind Fury and just punch the face a whole bunch. 4, 5, 6, and we don't even have enough to do anything. And another 3 to face. No, just clearing the board. That's terrifying now. I think we punch in here. Even though it's not going to be enough. It looks like this is just a complete loss. But I always like playing these out just in case something happens. The issue is here, of course, with our late game. It's so heavy on 8 that there's not necessarily much we can do. So I think the last Hybrid Hunter game that I played, I posted it either yesterday or 2 days ago now. We had a chance to consecrate earlier in the game. This game, we never had that opportunity, which is another reason why I like having this AoE. Like, there's basically nothing we can be doing. Ooh, how did we... that early game, it's not even incredibly powerful. Yeah, the equality into Primordial Drake is really nice. It's just really interesting to see... Yeah, quit. There's no need to go that far, I don't think. I wonder what it is about this matchup that's so weak. I've heard reports that this is actually supposed to be a very strong matchup for us. Very interesting to see what any of you think I might be doing really wrong here, or how I'm mulliganing wrong even. Because I think that the matchup, card for card, the matchup should be relatively strong in our favor. But interesting. We'll see. Okay. So it looks like we have now run into our first quest rogue in quite some time, actually. Haven't seen too many of these. And we're going to have to go and be a little bit aggressive from what I understand this matchup. We need to really be applying the pressure in this deck, in this matchup, so that our opponent doesn't have time to be doing all these fun bounce mechanics like we're seeing right here. And maybe we're going to see a little bit of patches going on. So this really slows us down. And so now our opponent's going to be doing a little swashbuckler action, which is fine for us. What we're going to be hoping for is either going to be some sort of Divine Shield. Wind Fury would be great because it would be terrifying. And then the... Oh, how much is 3, 6? 6 plus 7? 6 plus 7 is 13. Put our opponent down to 13. How scary would 13 be for our opponent? We don't have enough gas to do it otherwise. Make this a 4-4, make this a 4-5. That's pretty good. But then I think the 2 1-1s are also reasonable. Let's take the 1-1s here. And we'll get rid of patches this way. I think maintaining a little bit of board presence is going to be really important for us here. Because if and when our opponent starts having their slow turns, we're really going to be able to turn it on here. Unless, of course, they got some sort of excellent... Oh, that is pretty excellent now, isn't it? Oh my. Our opponent's crazy. True Silver's pretty good right here. Oh, no. Oh, Well, that's how you give away stars in rank 5. Oh, that is awful. I can't believe I just did that. Okay, let's see if there's still a way to... See if there's still a way to actually win when you make horrible mistakes. Oh, that's awful. That is an awful trade for us as well. Although it's good one of our opponent's chargers is gone. How are we going to come back from this? We're going to have to spike Ridge Steed here. Unless they're just eating any Vis. Wow. Gutsy move. Oh. That's pretty big. We have to equality it down, right? Oh, boy. Oh, that was such a bad move. I can't believe I did that. I was... frustrating. Because I think this game was winnable otherwise. We would have had a really decent board position otherwise, I think. If we hadn't done that. Opponent just gets more time because we had a really slow turn there. We're going to have to Curator here and hope. That's now the third Swashbuckler, right? Oh, only the second? I think we're still stuck going slow here. The great thing is we are going to be able to do a whole bunch of work now. Because we have a full hand, which is nice. Thanks to, obviously, this Curator. Okay. Well, yeah, the Fireflies are definitely coming in now. Ooh, +2/+2. Interesting. Oh, that's terrifying now, isn't it? That's also a pretty bad result for us. Oh, man. Okay, how are we going to come back from this now? Consecration's obviously pretty decent. I guess we can Primordial Drake. This is pretty good value. The issue is, of course, when our opponent floods the board. Next turn, how do we deal with it? I think this is going to be more important, actually, to gain control of the board right now. They could finish their quest right now, which would be awful. But we do have an equality, so there is a chance at still stabilizing. This is, these are not the games that I really... Oh boy, here comes another one. This is a really interesting tech that our opponents decided to be playing here. That's also really terrifying. So we have the option now, obviously, of Rag, just to kind of put out some terrifying pressure. Or do we want to try and discover something like a Tyrion, and then kind of go a little wide? Ooh, what's actually better? To go really, really big here? You know what, I think we do need to go a little big. The healing's kind of negligible. But I think what we really need here is something that's going to threaten the Violet Teacher. Because the majority of our opponent's hand is actually just Flame Elementals. Or whatever the Fireflies. Flame Elementals. That would be terrifying if it was all of a sudden Shaman. Shadow Step. Quest complete. And now our opponent has a huge board. So we basically need to top deck Consecration. Or somehow steal some sort of bouncing mechanic. There's still a chance. I think there's still a chance. This is terrifying. This is awful. So we top deck Consecration and we're fine, I think. Consecration. Nope. Oh, and there's still no more of these. Okay, so we're going to have to punch this one. We'll do that. We'll play this. We hope we get Tyrion, I guess. Set all other minions. I don't know how this works, to be honest with you. Does this actually work? Let's find out. I already threw the game. Oh, hey. We got a chance. We got a real chance here, everyone. So 2 of our minions trade off. This guy trades with a 2. Uh-oh. Evis, that's fine. He only eats 1 minion now, but that's okay. We've really slowed our opponent down quite a bit, and a lot of these minions now actually deal with this board. And the fact that there's probably not a lot of sap action. Oh my goodness, I can't believe we actually came back after such a silly misplay. As we push for Legend. Maybe we don't. Maybe we deserve Legend less than we thought. We can go ahead and discover, then buff, then second buff. We'll take a... Oh, Repentance is going to be nice now, isn't it? Let's buff this up. Then let's buff this up. So hopefully that's enough to slow our opponent down a little bit, as long as we dodge some chargers. One Stone Tusk Boar is already gone. I'm back in it now. Now that we kind of... Oh, terrifying. Terrifying. We kind of helped ourselves there a little bit, which is nice. And we're going to get a second taunt out of this, which is always a good thing to see. Oh, that's 2 extra face damage. Thank you. That was very kind of our opponent just to do that for us. We will definitely start with a Discover. Oh, wait. Is there lethal? Hold on. This is 5 plus 2 is 7. That's not lethal. Let's get a Discover of something huge. That's not what we need right now, but I'll take it. We will do that. And we're punching face because... we basically just need to set up our lethal. Oh my goodness. I apologize, everyone, the fact that that misplay happened. But good learning lesson that we didn't let it stop us. We still basically found a way to fight back into it and get our win. And get our star back that Hybrid Hunter took from us. And I'm still trying to figure out how that happened. If you have any ideas, let me know. At this point, yeah, this is going to be the last game of the video. We have enough videos. We have enough matches here. Thanks for hanging out with me, everyone. If you want to see the rest of this climb to legend, feel free to hit that big old red subscribe button below. Try to make sure I keep posting every day. Thanks for hanging out with me, everyone. Keep your stick on the ice.